But don't forget this, brother. We've had various campaigns trying to get signatures to get him out. He's been eligible for parole since 1976. But, and I think it's maybe important to understand that when you think about Chip, first thing, Chip was shot in the head at point blank range with a .357 Magnum right here. He had a retort with a 44 automatic or 45 automatic to being shot, and he did retort. So all Panthers, we just didn't take all the lead. There was some return. But I'm here to talk about a couple of people. In the party, from the party perspective, we hear a lot about Comrade Bunchy Carter, a tremendous individual. Also on that day died another man. His name was John Hudgens. And we don't hear a lot about John. John was my first contact to the party in a dorm room at UCLA. I heard this guy talking about what we had to do as black people around our own life and our own safety and what we needed to do. And this brother, it was like listening to a professor. And the first thing that hit me was that he wasn't loud, because back in that day you could rap if you could really be loud and say something just tremendous in your voice inflection and talk like Malcolm. No. This brother could talk to you. And for me, it was like, I gotta go get a gun. And I did. But this is another brother that should never be forgotten, even though he was soft-spoken, but a Panther's Panther. I don't really tell you, a tremendous brother. Here locally, there was a brother by the name of Robert Moody. Does anybody here live here, know Robert, know of Robert Moody? We're talking about a giant in this community that a lot of people didn't know. We call Robert Robin Hood. A lot of people, I don't know how many people know Robert was a robber. He robbed people. He traveled across the United States, the Midwest mostly, robbing people. He came back to Oakland and handed the money out on street corners. How many people knew that? He literally took the money and brought it back here and gave it to poor people. Handed it to them. Did a whole heap of years behind it. Did a lot of years. He came out and he decided to change tactics. He began to do more acceptable things to help in the community. A few years ago, this thing called welfare to work, this thing where they attack not the first, but one of the many times that they've attacked women in the society about these women being on welfare, she need to get her job. Well, they started all of these programs, and Robert started one that was very successful called Options. I don't know if people have heard of Options. But the thing that I like to say about Robert, and I'm calling, is one of the women in the program was pressured by one of the managers in the program sexually. And Robert found out about it. Robert said, this will never do. He approached that man and took a very serious position around that this could not be. The man was politically connected. He went downtown and got his connections to call Robert to the carpet. He told Robert that if he was not reinstated, they was going to pull the money. Robert's response was, I have the money back here to you this afternoon, and I'll invite you to the press conference tomorrow. They changed their mind. The young man was moved out of this position where he could harm women. That was Robert Moody. I mean, it's the best Moody story I know, other than every year there are toys and bicycles given to children by former prisoners. Hundreds of bicycles a year and many toys. office for the last 12 years. And Robert was very much at the center of this effort that's been going on now for 12 years. And it started by us sitting around complaining. And somebody said, you know, we got jobs. That was Robert. We've been doing it for 12 years, and Robert will, be here. Thanks.